The Productivity Commission says government action on closing the gap isn't being felt in Indigenous communities. It's calling for a watchdog to be set up, regardless of the outcome of the referendum on the voice to Parliament.
Sobering reading, proving progress has stalled on closing the gap.
While there is government action towards closing the gap, a lot of it is not being felt on the ground. And some governments in Australia are continuing to make decisions that disregard or contradict the agreement.
The Productivity Commission's draft report says it is too easy to find examples of government decisions that contradict commitments in the agreement that do not reflect Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people's priorities and perspectives, and that exacerbate rather than remedy disadvantage and discrimination. This is particularly obvious in youth justice systems, taking particular aim at Queensland's system where changes to bail laws have seen a jump in the number of young Indigenous men behind bars. While the report doesn't seek to provide a view on the upcoming Indigenous Voice to Parliament referendum, it does describe what such a watchdog could do to keep governments accountable.
If the voice does come about through the referendum, we've suggested it could support holding governments to account for their commitment to closing the gap. But equally, if there's not a voice, there are a range of other measures that should be adopted to hold governments accountable under the agreement. We're very clear, I must say, that a voice should not replace the agreement.
Though the current government says the report is a solid argument for the voice.
It is particularly important to look at the issues around transforming government agencies, and it's especially important the points that it makes about working in partnership. We have to do better, which is why I'm advocating for a voice.
The coalition is formally against the voice, but is in favour of some form of accountability, given the report was signed off by former Prime Minister Scott Morrison.
Accountability sounds good. A watchdog, there are watchdogs already in the system, and Aboriginal policy areas are not excluded from that. So it's important that we look through this closely. It's a very long report. It's been done by, the Productivity Commission.
The final report is expected to be completed in December. Simon Love, Sky News, Canberra.